Hi Finca family, welcome to this week's highlight and Finca special. A question that we get asked so often and we haven't made a video about it yet. Do we ride our horses? So watch on with this video and I answer all of your questions on what our opinion on horse riding, how we go about it with our horses, and everything you want to know around riding our horses. So the first question that we get asked all the time, do we ride our horses? And the quick answer is yes, we do ride some of our horses, but not how you would imagine. So come with me, I'll answer all the questions and I show you how we ride our horses. So a question some of you might be asking is, why do we ride our horses? And isn't that against rescuing them? And the simple answer for that is also yes. Yes, in a way, it is against rescuing them. But it's a lot deeper and a lot more complicated than that. This really is a complicated question. So first we have to look at the horse. And horses are made to move. That's not up for debate, that's just horses. Horses need to move. And in the situation we have here, on the island and the domesticated world, that's not always as easy as we would like it to be. Now, let's talk about this island in particular, because this is where we are and this is where we rescue horses from. We have to look at the entire picture, the bigger picture, and take all of the information and choose the right thing to do. So horses here, you will see the domesticated horse, which you will see here, are kept in stables, small spaces, because there's not a lot of space on the island. It's a small island. Land is expensive. It is not made to have all of the space they need to run free. Now, in an ideal world, would we take our horses and let them be free running over acres and acres of land? Absolutely, yes, that is what we would love. But that's not possible here. Our paddocks are, for the island, our paddocks are big. But for the horse, our paddocks are small. And this is the best we can do at the moment. In the future, we are going to buy the neighbouring land and we're going to have a paddock paradise, a track system, so they can run a lot more free. But that's still not going to be perfect. That's still not the amount of movement a horse needs for optimum health to keep their mind, their body as fit as possible. So that is why we weigh up the pros and cons of how to make our horses healthy. So that is why we ride some of our horses, because it's the best way to get the movement for them, what they need to keep their body in best condition. So yeah, the simple answer was yes. Like I say, we do ride some of our horses, but it's not do we, it's how we ride our horses. But I'll get more into that in a minute. So next question, how do we ride our horses? In which way do we choose? So the easy answer is we don't put any pressure on them and we don't do a lot. We just do simple hacking, mainly along the coast, across the countryside. We don't do any discipline, that we don't do any dressage or schooling or things like this. We really do it in a way that tries to benefit the horse. It's very horse first approached. Like I already answered before, it's not for us, it's not about us having fun to go horse riding. It's about getting what they need and getting it in the best way possible. So we try to ask our horses and we retrain them in as much as possible in positive reinforcement only or as force-free. We try to ask them what they want. We try to listen to them. And I don't mean it in a horse whispering type of way. I mean it in a science-based way. We listen to their body language, what they want, what they need, and what they enjoy. So every horse we have is obviously completely different. And the main percentage of our horses are not ridden at all. But the ones that are, we make a tailored plan for each horse. We work very closely with our vets, and I do their feet themselves, and we do the trimming, and we we combine everything to make what is right, the package for them. So we start off very slow. We start in hand walking, we start on the ground, and then we go up from there. So I say we start again, we start from the ground. I'm not going to get too heavy into our way of training because I have other videos for this based on positive reinforcement, clicker training, and all this you can read on our website, and you can see our other videos. But once we establish that relationship from the ground, we get to know what they like. We teach them cues. We often use a target. We listen to them. If we go to them in the field and they turn and walk away, they don't have to come with us. We really establish that understanding of, are they enjoying it? Do they want to? We can read their body language. You can too. It's not because we're anything special here. It's just because we choose to do that and we listen to them. Horses are very expressive. Again, I'm going to link a book that we're not sponsored by this book, but I find it a really good one for understanding cues, which I actually will link below. And it gives you a real easy, simple understanding of the cues. They show a lot of answers in their eyes, their nose, their ears. It's really easy to listen to your horse. The most difficult thing is listening to the answer, because they don't always want to say yes, they want to do what we want them to do. If you go over to them and say, do you want to come for a ride today? And they say no, that can be disheartening for the rider. And I understand that a lot of people find this a hard thing to do. We ask them, do they want it? Sometimes they say no. They're not often that they will want to ride around and go schooling and things like this. But when we ask them and get to show them that our style of riding is going out, going along the countryside, going for hacks, it's really the only chance they have of their closest thing to freedom. Now, all of these horses have a background as a riding horse. They don't have any other way of movement, so their closest way of movement and enjoying their body and going for a run and letting free is to go across the countryside, going along the coast. We're really fortunate, we're in a nice place and they enjoy that. So it's just about getting that understanding of knowing what they enjoy, which bit is fun for them, and not asking them to do something they don't want to do. So included on how we ride our horses, I should point out that we do everything totally force-free. They're all ridden bitless and barefoot. And as I say, we retrain in a force-free way, so we don't have any pressure from their bridles at all. They are here purely just to ask the signal where we want to go. Can we stop? Can we go left or right? If a question we get asked a lot about bitless riding, another thing I've actually written a blog about, I don't want to get too deep into, is how do you force them to stop? And will they go through it? No, is the simple answer. If we think our horses are not ready for going out riding, if they're not fully connected with us and trained into stop and start, and we understand their key cues, and we don't have a relationship, we won't take them out riding yet. As for saddles and how we ride, quite often we're on bareback saddles, or if not, we're using treeless saddles. This is mainly to get the best comfort for the horse and rider, and again, because we're not doing any disciplines, we're not doing anything heavy, it's all about comfort for them and of course the volunteers as well. If you'd like to know more about bitless riding and force-free training, you can on the World Bitless Association. So I'm one of the national representatives of the World Bitless Association for Tenerife and the Canary Islands. It's all about promoting change for horses, legalising this type of riding with a bitless bridle and trying to change for horses. So have a look into that and you'll see a bit more about our style of riding. Do we do excursions? This is a question we get asked so often. We get it by email, we get it on tourists, we get it on regulars that live on the island. It's got a really, really easy answer to this. No, we do not do excursions. We don't make any money from our horses and our riding. If I'm totally honest, when I started this project, I actually expected to rescue horses and do excursions because a lot of these places do this on the island and it's a good source of income. I did it twice. I did the same excursion twice, and I saw immediately that the horses did not like this. And we are not here to exploit our horses. You live, you learn, and Tenerife Horse Rescue grew and changed, and I saw that this is not our priority. They didn't like it. I don't want to turn our horses into robots. They've had their life of been doing whatever they were doing, excursions, you know, their riding career. They're not here to do that anymore. So the easier answer is no, we do not do excursions. We never will. We do not make any money from our horses. So who rides our horses? There's two answers to this question, and the first is me and my volunteers. As you've probably seen, how we're run is by a big community of volunteers. You can read more about that on other blogs or watch the other videos, but this is purely to answer this question. First, we take the volunteers, which have got a lot of experience with horses, and they come here to help us retrain and start them back from the basics. They all have to come with the understanding of how we train here. They don't have to all have the experience, but they have to have the open-minded, and they learn here and they help us to start off our horses. This is who you'll see behind us. You've got Laura on Fauno, you've got Alana on Capri, and you've got Dana on Eric. Answer two on that question: what happens once we've rehabbed the horses, once the volunteers have worked with them and we've created that understanding and found that they enjoy going out? The next is horse mummies. So horse mummies is a way that we can get the right person for the right horse. Now each horse in the long-term plan, and at the moment most of them have, each horse has one rider and we call that their mummy. Now we don't make money from these people, they just donate towards their food and their care. Now we look after them every day like we're going to anyway, and they create this relationship with that particular horse. So they can come as often or as little as they would like. We create that understanding with us, they care for them, they love them. It's about having a horse of their own, but without having the full commitment and the cost. Now, every horse is different and everyone has a different need, and every horse can ride a different amount. But the most important thing is that the horse mummies understand our way of riding. They understand that horse chooses them, they choose that horse, and we create a perfect circle of harmony for the horse and rider. So final topic on today's video is my experience on riding, how I feel about it, and a question I get asked quite often: why do I think my way of riding is better? Now, firstly, I want to answer that one and say it's not my way of riding, and it's not necessarily that I'm saying it's better, it's just this is how I choose to do it for our horses here at the sanctuary. So it's a bit of a controversial topic, as always, riding, and we're in the middle of a difficult place, if you like, because we're not about riding here. We're not a riding school, we're not a riding centre. We've had to look at the whole picture about deciding what's best for our horses and weighed up the pros and cons, which is exactly what I do for each horse, each situation, and I hope I explained that a bit through this video. I can't explain it all in one video, it'll be super long. I can touch on it again if you're interested, but this is how we choose to do it like this, and we find ourselves in the middle. I feel like sometimes traditional horse riders think that we are criticising them and saying that their way is wrong. I'm not trying to say and promote that it's only our way. I'll get on to a little bit about my past in a minute. But we also find that, someone got an itchy head? That we have also criticism from the other side saying that we're exploiting our horses and that we're a sanctuary, shouldn't be riding our horses at all. Now we're right in the middle here, and I hope, again, like I say, I've explained this well enough. We're not exploiting them. We have absolutely putting everything into the bigger picture about doing what's best for them. Okay, so now we could talk a little bit about my riding history. And of course, we have to introduce you Galan. This is Galan, who I'll be riding today, who's decided to dress up for the occasion. So I have been riding since, well, I started when I was a child, and then I stopped for a while, and I've been heavily back into horses for the last 25 years. And I started, like most other people do, in a very traditional way. I was in riding schools. I was more of a happy hacker. I never really got heavy into disciplines. I never did jumping things. I always felt something didn't quite sit right for me, and I wanted to expand and learn in a different way. And that's how I got more into horsemanship, force-free training, positive reinforcement, and then how eventually I joined in with the World Bitless Association, and that's what brought us to here. But this video isn't all about me. This is just about my experience with riding and why I choose to do this. Do I enjoy riding? Yeah, sometimes. Do I enjoy it like I used to? I changed. It's not all about horse riding for me. That's how I started horses, but now it's about the horses. And I do like going for a ride on you because he chooses it. He's an old boy. We've had him now nearly 4 years, I think. But he absolutely loves going out in the countryside, as you're going to see, as we're going to take the GoPro with us, and we'll show you having a little bit of fun across the countryside, right? So we're going to leave this topic for now on this because it's a very complicated one, and it's a lot deeper than the first scene. And I hope it's given a little bit of insight on why we've chosen to do what we do by horse riding, why we're choosing to ride horses and do it the way we are doing it. And I hope that people from both sides of the spectrum can understand a little bit why we've chosen to ride our rescue horses. And I hope you see that we are not exploiting them, and we are trying just to do what's best for them. So we just have to remember there is no perfect world. If there was a perfect world and a perfect answer for these horses, we as a horse sanctuary, we wouldn't be here. So all we can do is the best for our horses and what we believe is best to help. So on that, I'm going to go have the rare chance to enjoy a little ride with Galan. I'm going to give you back the microphone, and you behind the camera is going to come enjoy me as well. So thank you so much for watching. We'll leave you with some footage of our horses enjoying the countryside. See you next week.